So angle G was 50, and we didn't know how long it was, so I just drew a line kind of far out. Then we know H will be 28, so using my protractor again, we can measure out to 28, and then I drew a line far out there and saw this I is where it will intersect. So then erase those, and then we have our construction. So here are two other ones with the same criteria that I drew. So I drew GH first, then made G 50, H 28, same thing here, found where they intersect, and that's I. So between these three triangles, we can say they are congruent, because if I decided to measure all the side lengths just to be sure, we would find that GI is 2.3, so if I took a ruler and measured it, each one should have 2.3. If I measured IH, that will measure 3.9, and that's consistent through all three triangles. So that tells me that these three triangles are congruent, which is the point, because all their angles are congruent, all their sides are congruent. So this one shows us that if I have an angle-side angle between two different triangles and they are congruent, then the triangles must be congruent. And that's basically, we can see in our constructions, because once we drew this and the two angles, I will always be in that same spot kind of where they intersect, and will always form the same angle. So this I is 102 degrees, this I is 102 degrees, and so is this I. So just with that beginning criteria, the rest will always remain the same. Okay, so last part is just a summary. So just in general, if we're looking at congruency between polygons, and this time specifically triangles, then the angles and sides, and those must be corresponding, between two angles are equal, then the triangle. Then the triangles are congruent. Which is kind of common sense, right? It just makes sense that if all the sides and all the angles are equal, then the triangles must be equal. But geometry likes to put specific words to things, and you have to prove stuff. So in order to prove things, you have to be able to give substantial evidence. So the way that we give evidence is with these three things, which we discussed: the side, 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 angle, side, and angle, side, angle. So if two triangles, all three sides are equal, so this one's congruent to this one, and this one's congruent to this one, then we can say these two triangles are congruent. If I have a side, angle, side, and it's the same in another triangle, side, angle, side, then these two triangles are congruent. Notice the angle, just like in the way it's written, is in between the two side lengths. So this angle has to be in between these two. If I had the angle congruent over here, that is not enough evidence for us, because this side could be longer than this one. It doesn't give us enough evidence to know that. Next, angle, side angle. Notice again, the side length is between the angles, just like here the angle's between the side lengths. That's the requirement for angle, side angle. So this last part is basically just proving which one is being used, and then showing what can I say about congruency between the two triangles. So I'll just do the first one, and then I'll let you do the second two and show you the answers. So here we have two triangles, and I notice all the side lengths are equal. So by side, side, side congruence, I know that triangle CAM and triangle CMB are equivalent. Which then that tells me a lot. It tells me all the side lengths are equal and all the angles are equal of the two triangles. So for example, CA is equal to CB. Or AM is equal to MB, or CM is equal to CM. So I'm just looking at the corresponding side lengths and saying that they're congruent. Next, I'm thinking of the angle. So angle A, or let's call it CAM to be specific. So CAM, so this angle is congruent to CBM. a CM is congruent to BCM. And CMA is congruent to CMB. So just naming which angles, which side lengths are congruent. So you try the next two. So if you want to pause the video and try these two, and then I'll show you the answers right now. But if you pause it, you can do it on your own and then check. So here are the answers to 2 and 3. So number 2 is based on side angle side, side angle side, side angle side. And the last one's angle side angle, which this one, not too tricky, but you have to use the idea of vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles are congruent. So these two, side angle, are congruent, so that's why angle side angle works for this one. And then here are all the congruent statements. So this is it for 7.3 congruence. Look for what your homework assignment will be and then submit that via the Sycamore Dropbox. Hope you have a great rest of your day.